It's Klebs here, and today I'm doing a little bit of a solo venture, and I thought we'd take a look at a game that came out recently as Baldur's Gate 3. Now, I've never played, I think there were two others, I think Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2. I don't know if their stories I don't know if they're intertwined in any way, to be quite frank with you. I just know that Baldur's Gate 3 goes off the D&D 5e system, and we'll get into that when I go into create a character more. So we'll start off with a new game, and here, just like anything else, you tend to have a difficulty modifier. So if we want to go for narrative, you can pick Explorer. If you just want the story, Balance is the one I've just been running because I've only gotten to the beginning of Act 2, but I still want to have some fun with the combat. And Tactician, I guess, is your more, I don't care about the story, I want combat to be rough. But for this playthrough, we're going to go with Balanced, and we're going to start the game. Alright, what you just saw there.
Who are you?
You know what, we'll reset tutorials. Start off. But so here we get to create our character. What you had seen there in the cutscene are known as illithids or mind flayers, and in the D&D universe, they're essentially just psionic squid people, I guess is a weird way to put it. They oh, they reproduce by what you kind of saw there, using the tadpoles, as they're known, to infect other people, and through a process called ceramorphosis, I believe is the technical term, you will very painfully turn into one of them. But anyways, let's get into this. So starting off, we can customize our own character, or we can kind of go with one of the game's pre-made. And by pre-made, I mean I haven't found you yet, the Dark Urge, but I know Karlach, Will, Shadowheart, Gale, Lazelle, and Astarion. They're all companions that you can get into the game and add to your party, interact with, and all that fun jazz. But I think we're just going to start with our own custom character. And in here you can see we've got several different race options, each with their own different benefits. So for example, if I went with Elf, starting off, they move 9 meters per turn. There's probably a way to change that into feet, but we'll find that out later. They get proficiency with longsword, short bow, longbow, have a dark vision up to 12 meters, and Fey Ancestry, which, as it says, it gives advantage to saving throws against being charmed, and magic cannot put you to sleep. Now, if you have no idea what that means, I'll go and explain a little bit. So, if you are proficient with a weapon, it means you get to add your proficiency bonus to the weapon attack. Well, what the hell do you mean by that? Well, what I mean is, in D&D 5th edition, as you can see over here, you have several different stats, and this game is normally played tabletop with a full set of dice. You've got the D20, the D12, two D10s, because one is usually has double digits, while then the other one has single digits, so that way you can also use it as a percentile dice. Then you have, what, a D8, a D6, and a D4, and each of those tend to get used in different ways here in Baldur's Gate, or in D&D 5th edition. So with the proficiency bonus, that essentially means that I get to add my proficiency modifier, and the proficiency modifier, I believe starting at level 1, is just a +2 to all my rolls. So what this means is that since I'm proficient with a longsword, I would add my strength, which in this case is a -1, but I would add +2 because I'm proficient at a longsword, meaning every time I would roll a d20 for an attack roll, I would add +1 to the hit. So, like, let's say I roll and I hit a 10. Then I take one away, add 2 to it, and then that's where I get 11. And chances are that's probably going to miss my target, but regardless. And keep in mind, too, not everything, like I kind of mentioned, is going to go off of strength. So some weapons, like short swords and ranged weapons, they will mostly go off of your dexterity modifier. And dexterity also affects several other things. It will affect your AC, it will affect your bonus in the turn order. What else will it affect? Dexterity saving throws. There's a ton of things these stats do, and we can get into that more when I get into the actual class. But what do I want to play? I've played a ranger so far, Wood Elf Ranger, and I always love that, but I think for this playthrough we'll do something out of my norm. No. I do always love the look of Dragonborns. Do I just go with the standard, I put myself into fantasy, make a white human male fighter, and I just go bonk and stuff? That'd be great. Well, first, what class do I want to play? Let's get an idea of that first. I haven't played a sorcerer yet, but I think this time I want to play a bard. And so actually this is a good time for me to get into it. Each of these classes specialize in different things. Like you can imagine this guy, a barbarian, is very much good at close combat, CQC, and he gets a special ability to get angry, and when he gets angry, he does 2 extra damage with his melee weapons, improvised weapons, and when throwing stuff. Funny enough, in this game, you can grab other creatures, and yeet them at other creatures, and it's the funniest shit in the world. And then also they get a feature starting where if they don't wear any armor, they get to add their Constitution modifier to their armor class. Armor class is essentially what the enemy has to beat in order for you to hit them, or in order for them to hit you. So, like, with this guy, I got a +1 to Dex, and all ACs start usually at 10. So base AC 10, we go up to 11 because of my +1 to Dexterity, and then over here we get a +2, meaning it's going to go up to a 13 at level 1, which isn't great, but you are a barbarian, and also when you rage, you take half damage to piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing, which is just about the most common form of damage outside of fire and other magical effects. Bard here is the classic meme D&D character. I rolled a nat 20 to seduce the dragon. Best, or your primary ability score is Charisma. Their spell casting goes off of Charisma. And so, usually with this class, you want to pump up Charisma and maybe Constitution. Definitely with this stat block that it gives you, if you go with the base stats, you definitely probably want to go Charisma up to 18 and then Dex up to 16. When you level up at level 4, you'll get the option to get... You know what, I'm probably getting way ahead of myself here, aren't I? But let's talk spells here. Cantrips. Don't need to spend anything special on them. They're just base. You can do them whenever, however many times a day you want. And you're usually set on a set amount of them that you can have. So right now at level 1 Bard, he's going to get 3 cantrips. And I can change these too when we get down to the spells here. But, so Firebolt... Ugh. Yeah, this one, they have to make a dexterity saving throw. I believe... No, it's an attack roll. So you roll a d20. If you get above their AC, you do a d10 of fire damage. And that does eventually scale up when you get to certain levels in the game. So don't think that cantrips are completely useless later on. But then down here you have spell slots. Now these, you get a limited amount of what I just mentioned, spell slots per day. And a spell slot can be used to cast one of these spells. As long as you've got a spell slot for it, you can cast it. Now normally you don't get spell slots back until you completely finish a rest, unless you're a wizard, which get this neat little ability that lets them essentially regain a spell slot, depending on how high the spell slot is. And warlocks, which actually regain spell slots on a short rest. Go back. Cleric, you follow a deity. You know, you're essentially like the World of Warcraft cleric here. You follow a god, pantheon, and all that jazz. Their spells go off the wisdom stat. They tend to be sort of midline or frontline, depending on how you build them. In this game, especially since I think most classes right now only have the 3 subclasses, which... actually, what are the cleric subclasses? Oh, never mind, this one's got a hell of a lot more. That's right, clerics get so many subclasses. Shows you how much I play clerics in actual D&D. Life domain. Your healing spells are better. Light domain. Fire. Essentially. Trickery domain. You wanted to be a rogue, but your party desperately needed someone who could cast healing spells. Knowledge. Sort of a weird one. You essentially... How do I describe it? I believe you get better skills. Nature domain, you wanted to be a druid, but you didn't want to give up, heavy armor. Yeah. Oh, Shillelagh, that's always a good one. Yeah, that's always a good cantrip for clerics, especially if you use a staff. Your staff essentially just becomes magical, and it's going to use your wisdom modifier to roll attacks instead of, say, like dexterity or strength. Tempest, you want it to be Thor. At least that's how it is in 5th edition. Yeah, the Wrath of the Storm. Yeah, that's always nice, because I know once you get to level 2, at least in D&D 5th edition, you get Channel Divinity, which then allows you to essentially tell one specific creature to fuck off, and you just hit them with maximum lightning damage. And I've always wanted to do this one, but maybe not for this playthrough. War Domain. I mean, it's war. You get more combat-oriented spells, and you can also make a second attack as a bonus action with this subclass, which normally most classes can't do unless you're wielding 2 weapons, or you're a fighter or a ranger. Still, what class do I want to be? So I think we'll go Paladin. race. You know what? I've always wanted to do a Dragonborn Paladin. Let's go bonking some people. Now with the Dragonborn race here, we're going to get some special, as you can kind of tell here, your base movement speed is 9 meters per turn, and that's the only feature you really get at a glance. But then they also get something interesting where they get a breath weapon attack, which is nice, especially if you're fighting multiple people, where you breathe on them, and you have different flavors of breathing. Like, you can spit acid damage in a cone, you can spit lightning damage in a cone, you can spit fire in a line, spit lightning, another cone. Weird, I thought there was supposed to be a cone, because usually one is a line. Yeah, because there's the cone of fire versus the line of fire. Yeah, then there's the cone of poison, another cone of fire, cone of ice, cone of ice? And then they also get a resistance to whichever Dragonborn they are. So like if we went with Brass, we get resistance to fire damage, which isn't bad considering fire damage tends to be one of the more common types of damage. I think the the rarest type of damage is probably psychic or force. Don't quote me on that. No, we'll go with a white Dragonborn. Class Paladin subclass. Do I go with an Oath of Vengeance, maybe? Really hit people hard? You know what? Yeah, we'll go with Ancients. Background. Are you a soldier? I think we'll go with Soldier. Athletics, Insight, Intimidation, Persuasion. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. Abilities. Now, I'm hoping sometime, maybe there's a mod out for it, but you can, essentially, the beginning of this, you start with a point. This is a point buy system. So in 5th edition, you get 25 skill points here, and then you have to distribute them between the 6 stats here. Oh, so since strength is one of my key ability scores, since, you know, it's my main damage, it's how I smack things, we definitely want to crank that up as high as it can go and put the +2 to it. And then charisma, since we can very much be a face, since our smites and other class abilities go off of charisma, we definitely want that there. I would say Constitution, put it up to a 14. I think Dex we can leave at an 8, because I don't plan. That does hurt my initiative though, doesn't it? And I definitely want that up. I think maybe we just dump intelligence and we do that. I think we'll go to character customization. We'll cut back once I'm done creating my character here, I think. I think I got the character here. 2744. Yeah, so I'm happy with this. Not gonna go too crazy with the design, but not a whole lot you can really do here. Tails got jiggle physics. Woo! Ooh! Alright, let's get going to the next cutscene. Once I name the character, goddamn, what do I name you? Sure. Go with that. Proceed! And now we gotta make our guardian. Who do I want to be there? Da, 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 da. You know what? Maybe. You know what if we just hit randomize a couple times? See what. Interesting. Oh, that's freaky. Kind of like freaky. You know what? We'll go with it. This is my guardian, ladies and gentlemen. I do like that hair though. Those eyes though, Jesus fuck. I'll have to play a tiefling next go around and do something like that. God damn. Venture forth! Is that a Wilhelm scream in there? I swore that's what I just heard. Couple things to explain there. So, that big flying tentacle ship, that's how the Mind Flayers get around, called a nautiloid. It's essentially a giant flying living crustacean. The people on Red Dragons you saw, Get Yankee, they were essentially a race made by the Mind Flayers as, like, servants, but they eventually overthrew their Mind Flayer overlords and became somewhat resistant to their psionic powers and actually ended up developing some of their own because of their time with them. And after we, I guess, warp drived a couple times, that second warp drive we ended up in Avernus, or you could basically just call it Hell. And what was happening below us is known as the Blood War, which is basically the forever war in Hell between demons and devils. And so this is where we start off. You can move the camera by holding down the middle mouse button to get a good look around, zoom in and out as normal. One complaint I do kind of have is you can't really zoom out any more than this. Kind of sucks, but you can use WASD as well to look around the area. You can't go too far though. It does kind of restrict your camera, only being able to go so far, and you also can't like look into doorways to get a sneak peek, thankfully. What it kind of says in the tutorial up there, you can double click on someone's portrait to center your camera back to them. You can also hit home, and as you move around with left click, the camera will just stick with that character, but I usually don't play like that, so we'll just go do this. Click through. We'll go through the sphincter here. We'll go through the sphincter. Apparently my guy really doesn't want to. And we are going to have a look around. Ooh, hi Goblin.
What's inside?
What you got? Got anything fun? Ooh, gold, hell yeah. Boy, we got something talking to us. I think we're going crazy, ladies and gentlemen. What's over here? Eldritch tablet that I won't be able to read.
We are trapped.
Oh, shut up, you big baby. I'm coming. With the Paladin, here is my subclass feature. Oh, Jesus. Basically, I get to use my Channel Oath charge
Help us.
to heal myself for 5 points now, 5 points later, and anyone within this little circle. Divine Sense, as a bonus action, I can essentially get advantage, which means I roll 2 d20s and take the better of the results. Shut the you know what? I'm annoyed with you. I'm gonna have a talk with you.
What's up for discussion?
We'll see what bitch boy here wants. Gotta love the cutscenes.
Yes, you've come to save us from this place. From this place, you'll free us.
The exposed brain quivers in expectation.
Please. Before they return. They return.
Well, my guy isn't incredibly smart.
A newborn. Born new from this husk.
You realize you're talking to an intellect devourer.
Maybe guy
a
is smarter
minion of the mind
than I
flayers
thought.
who abducted you.
Destroy the brain. Destroy the child. But yeah, an intellect devourer, they essentially, what is it? There's like a brain-eating slug somewhere out there in some... I forget where. Some river in some country. But imagine that, but the little creature dives into your brain, consumes your brain, and becomes your brain. And then pops out of your skull. Kind of like that guy would have had I not just popped it. God, I'm gonna have to look that up later. But, yeah, as you can see, we are having a good old time through hell. Oops. Alright, camera, yeah. Let's just cut through that quick. See any baby dragons? Oh, hey, I did... What was that? Did I venture through one of those? Oh, not recently, actually, not anymore. Did a DnD 5th edition campaign where over half of it was spent in Avernus here. I think the campaign was actually called Descent into Avernus. It was really fun, and we finished it, and actually the first campaign I personally finished all the way through, and it was great. I'm gonna miss Astara, which is actually the ranger that I play through in this game, because I can't get enough of rangers. I don't know why. Love them to death.
Abomination. This is your end. Your head throbs and your skin tingles. Visions rush past. A dragon's wing, a silver sword, and a flash of your face seen through the strange woman's eyes. Ugh. My head. What is this? Skvar. You are no thrall. Vlaakith blesses me this day. Together, we might survive.
What do you suggest?
First, we exterminate the imps. Then we find the helm and take control of the ship. We will address the matter of a cure for this infection once we reach the material plane.
Yes, ma'am. One thing I do miss is that in the beta, before you got to this scene, you could walk a little more to this and actually end up like sneak attacking them. So like, you'd come down here, walk, then there'd be a jump you'd have to go over. And then Lazelle, her, would just be chilling in a corner here and like come down and ambush you, kind of like she just did. But regardless, this is still a good combat. Good still first tutorial. So, seeing here, this white line that you can see is how far we can move. This little bar here represents it too. We've got 9 meters of movement, so we can just go up and smack this bitch if we want. But you'll see down here too, we've got several other actions we can do. We can hit Z or click on this button to jump. So our character will move and then jump to the location if possible, if they have enough movement and if it's not too far away, too high, or too low. Dipping here, if we run over to this fire here, close enough, or this fire, we can spend our bonus action to dip whatever our weapons in there, and then it'll deal, I believe, a D4 extra of whatever we dipped it in. So we could dip it in this fire here and get an extra D4 fire damage on our weapons. We could dip it in Puddle of Poison and get D4 acid damage? No, poison damage. We could dip it in a Puddle of Acid, get a D4 acid damage, all that fun stuff. But I think starting here, we're going to have Lazelle move up. We're just going to have... We're going to do a funny, actually. I can also hit V. And as you can see here, this essentially we're going to be spending our bonus action to attempt to shove this bitch off the Nautiloid. 90% chance to do it. It's going to make an athletics check. We succeeded, and there he goes. Oh, but he just comes back? That's bullshit. Alright, we'll just smack you down. That's great. Then we can loot him if we want. We can still take it. And then we can sell it later, if we so desire, which we will. We'll just have to make sure we, Oh, I do get javelins. That's dope as fuck. Really? That's stupid. Either way, Lazelle's gonna end her turn.
Still on my feet.
And now it's going to be my Paladin. And I think... What do you... I'm not gonna check you yet. You know what? Yeah, walk up to the bitch.
Ahead.
Smack him. Yeah, give me that scimitar. And we'll just end the turn there. I should have walked up to him. Oh well. Shoot him. Of course you decide to miss. Why wouldn't you?
Make way.
have you walk up as close as you
Well,
can, and the
so much for
turn.
peace. Need
Let's
to find a way
flank
forward.
him a bit, and then we'll give him a good old bop in the back. There we go. And loot him
You prove surprisingly
with
adequate.
the crossbow. We will equip that right away, just so that way I have the option of using a ranged weapon, even though I am not good with them at all. But hey, you know what? At least it's an option now. And you may be wondering, why am I just fucking being a loot monkey and looting all this shit? And I tell you to mind your own goddamn business.
Cast. I feel.
These little things here, while you're in the tutorial, they essentially heal you to full, and I believe treat you as if you've done a long rest,
We need to get out before
which
it's too late.
fully recovers everything of yours, but I took some damage, might as well use it. Pretty sure you can use it infinitely. We're gonna climb up this meshy mesh, and we're gonna keep going to the next sphincter once the game saves. Sphincter time! Walkity walk.
Gauge machinery.
Sacrifice
I can make no
cultists.
sense of it.
Oh, you're trapped in there. We will deal with you later. The fuck is this? Oh yeah, you can right-click items, and you can take a closer look at them. So like if I want to take a look at this brain jar, right-click it. It gives you a lot of useful information, actually. It'll tell you if what you're looking at is resistant or weak to certain types of damage. So like here you can see that piercing damage is halved if you attack this thing with a piercing damage weapon. So that would be like rapiers and bows and crossbows. Bludgeoning, it is weak to it, so you will deal double damage to it. Necrotic, you will deal half, fire half. This means over here that it is immune to these types of damage. So he is immune to psychic and poison. He is resistant to radiant and weak to force. So always keep that in mind. If you're about to fight an enemy, you can always right-click them and hit examine and see what you can use against them. Usually it'll make sense. Like, you know, if you're fighting fire elementals, you're not going to want to use fire spells.
How many hosts of these
But that doesn't
gauge
mean they'll
infected?
necessarily be weak to, like, cold or anything. 9 times out of 10, they will be, but just keep that in mind. Usually right-click them and find out.
A rune. But for what?
I'll grab that. Go to this chest here. We'll grab these potions of healing, and I'm going to be a hoarder, and they're all mine. You cannot have them, Lazelle. I am a greedy bitch.
Anything
Nothing in
else?
my tenants say that I have to share. Anyone in there? Oh, just... That glass really fucks with her, doesn't it? Ooh, it's like a House of Horrors mirror room. Maybe not a House of Horrors, but I'm sure you know what I mean. We'll just let that little guy run around. Actually, let me right-click you. Okay. He's not weak to anything. Okay, that sucks. What? Let me look at the character sheet for you. What are... Yeah, I thought I had a -1 to intelligence. That's kind of funny then that I ended up passing that. Why does Lazelle have a +5 to... Oh, yeah, to saving throws. Yeah, okay. Do I not have proficiency in saving throws? Oh, that's right, I get wisdom and charisma. Really? I forgot. That's odd. Usually martial classes get... Interesting. Whatever.
You! Get me out of this damn thing! We have no time for stragglers.
Oh, shut the fuck up, bitch. Let's try the key
Good.
thing.
Try using it on that machine next to me. Hurry! Please!
Touch this. Give it a go ol' licky lick.
The console appears
on.
dormant.
Throw the rune in there.
The console hums to life.
Let's try it. Probably won't work, but a 10 isn't bad. Alright. Fucking me, that's amazing. So, if you didn't know, in this game, D20, a natural 20, you just succeed at whatever you're trying to do. A nat 1, you automatically fail. Does not matter.
Pulsing glow and and organic lines of the device make it
Yep, it
seem
even tells you
more
here
like a
because of the
beating
tutorial.
heart
You
than a
automatically pass
machine.
it with a nat 20.
Perhaps it will open the nearby pod.
Which is good, but I kind of like Pathfinder 2nd Edition, where in that game, essentially,
You feel a
there's
hideous
more
squirming in
degrees
your
than
head.
just success
A
and
parasite,
failure with that.
then discomfort
So, like, you can
fades,
get a
and
nat
another
1,
sensation
but if
washes
you
over
have
you.
enough of a bonus,
Connection.
it could possibly
Authority.
prevent you from failing. But in that game, too, there is failing, critically failing, succeeding, and critically succeeding. So, critically succeeding, you beat the DC, the difficulty class, by more than 10. Succeeding, you beat the difficulty class. Failure, you have less than the difficulty class. And critical failure is it's twice than less. So, like, if I would have rolled a 1 in this situation, that would have been half the DC, meaning I critically failed. In Pathfinder 2nd Edition, a nat 1 only lowers the grade of success down by 1. So, like, you can roll a nat 1, but still critically succeed, and it would turn the critical success into a success. And the same thing with a nat 20. Like, you could get a nat 20 and go from a failure to a success. Alright, Shadowheart. What do you want?
I thought that damn thing was going to be my coffin. Thank you.
Your mind lurches into her thoughts. Her gratitude is mixed with wariness, because you have a gift with you.
You keep dangerous company.
Just love how we just both stare at her, just like, yeah, this bitch.
Fair point. Looks like there's plenty of fighting ahead.
Oh, you know it,
Let
girl.
me come with you. We can get off this ship and watch each other's backs along the way.
Logan and Grimna,
One moment.
leader of those space wolves, even though I'm a dragon. Baby dragon. Alright.
Finally. Let us make for the helm. We've wasted enough time already.
Did her head... Oh, hold
She's
on.
right.
Did her head just do the
Lead on.
fucking, like, nuh-uh girl thing? I'll have to go back in the footage and see. Oh, hold on. There's this chest here. Pop this bitch open. Oh, yeah. Some more gold. Advance. We're fine. Let's head off
We
to
are nearing
the
the
next
helm.
area.
Once inside, do as I say.
Who put you in charge? I'll trust my
I feel like
own
that's cut off.
judgment.
Kanyank.
Is that Cane Yank? Someone have to tell me in the comments if that's like calling a black person the N-word. I'm not familiar with the Gith Yankee tongue. Most bullshit part of the game right there is a mind flare being taken down by imps.
Connect the nerves of the transponder. We must escape. Now.
Do it. We will deal with the Geich after we escape.
The game. You gotta say it more like that. The game.
We need to get out of here.
Alright,
now.
who's the bitch I'm smacking first? Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Gain advantage on attack rolls against all these assholes. Let's go after
You've made a
you.
grave mistake.
Yeah. Let's try to move as close as I can to you. Shadowheart. 65, 65, 85. So let's go smack a bitch.
Do this.
Yeah, figures. Can you push him? Can you push him down? Yeah, figures.
Time to strike.
Lazelle.
My
Perfect.
path be true.
Keep going. Let the mind player tickle him. Or not. Aha, you missed it. Let's pick this up. Don't really have too much fun with those, but fuck it. Let's see. Oh, it even works with a crossbow? That's dope. We'll try it. Only 4. Yeah, figures. Alright, I need you. Give me a sacred flame. Damn it!
Got to move.
Alright, we'll just keep moving. Lazelle, can you take it out, please, for love of God? Sweet. Can't dash. Not enough movement. Just sprint. Yeah, tickle each other, would you? No more divine sense, which is fine. Loot! Ooh! Topaz? That's pretty. And the knife. Oh yeah, you can also, if a bunch of your people are like this with their turrets next to each other, you can actually end up clicking on them. So like here, I didn't want to use my dash action yet, which dashing, you spend your action to just double your movement. Can be good in some scenarios.
Let's end this.
But let's have you dash first.
Got to press on.
Get you up here. Get everyone together before I declare the next, open up the next area. So you haven't used your action yet.
I am fury. I am death.
Yeah, let's have you spend it.
Another step forward.
Get closer.
Hurry before they strike.
So that's happened. Let's back up again. End the turn. And your turn. Actually, can we go back? Yeah, cancel end. There. This doesn't actually do anything in terms of, 'cause I think the shield AC, because shields normally give an extra couple armor class. I don't think in this game it matters whether you have the shield or not out. I think it always just goes to your AC, but just in case, I like to have it out.
Time to strike.
Can you try it. And you couldn't kill it.
Nothing will stand in my way.
Alright, end everyone's turn. You two have fun tickling each other.
If this ship hits the ground, we're dead.
Oh, I can't? That sucks. Damn it. I lose this
Maybe not
bitch?
the best time.
Oh, it's the best time. Come on now. Ooh, yeah, I'll take that. Let's go. Try to go with a. Can I? Damn it. All right. Piercing shot his ass. Probably overkill, but that's fine. We just need to kill shit at this point. All right, good. He's got to use the dash action to get close to me. Firebolt. Or fiery bolt, I guess. Whatever.
Got to move.
Yeah, you don't got enough. Let's hit him. How much damage? 4. Oh, yeah. Try to hit you. Nice. Get a little closer.
Will ascend.
Lazelle, can you pop up here and shoot the bitch? Why would you kill it? Well, at least Logan Griminar here gets to go before he does. So, time to... You guessed it. Smack a bitch.
You can take me on.
And then use whatever movement I do have. To do that. I think you should be able to... Oh, yeah. And we are clean out of here.
The helm's alien transponder.
Well, the neat thing about this
You've
game
made it
too
in
is if
time.
you select a certain character to do an action, they'll actually pop up. So it's never sometimes your character doing stuff, which is kind of neat, and I really like that. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. All right. Although now I wonder, am I gonna appear in this next scene as Shadowheart, or am I gonna appear as myself? I guess we'll find out. We'll find out together. Probably just my graphics that make the game look the way it does sometimes, because the game does not look as bad as some of these cutscenes make it to be. Probably just my shitty computer. I've never seen all those ground glitches before. That's hilarious. Okay, so I am just my character now. Hi. Bye. Whee! Hold on, where's free falling? Shit. Well, that's a dream right there. Skydiving while listening to free falling. And I'm awake, baby. Actually, not thinking about it. I'm
As
pretty
you
sure
wake, the tadpole squirms in your skull.
there's a Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, so I don't know why I thought Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2 would be connected to this. No, there's a Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Don't mind me, I'm just stupid. See how much I know about stuff. Let's orientate
Chaos
myself.
at the crash site confuses the landscape. You'll need to find a settlement or landmark, and you'll need to do it quickly. The tadpole is a death sentence, and the clock is ticking. You need a cure.
Ouch. Alright, well, I think that'll conclude it for this little bit here. I know I've already been playing here for a little bit. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode where we will figure out where the hell we are. Take care, and have a wonderful day.